How's it going, everyone, and welcome back. Today what we're going to do is we're going to mount a radiator for this thing. So yeah, let's get after it. What we got here is a universal Griffin radiator, and we're looking to put this thing up inside. What we're going to end up doing here is we're going to cut the main support up top, and we're going to get in there and make it look a little flush. So the part number on this radiator is 125241XS, and it's a 3-inch thick radiator. Hopefully it fits in there good and keeps this thing nice and cool this summer. So to give you guys an update on what's been done since the last video, obviously we got this bar put in the back, and move forward here, we actually got my Vickers Performance built Turbo 400 put in this thing. It's a reverse manual valve body with the trans brake. It's built to hold around 1,000 horsepower, so we'll see how that goes. It's got the aftermarket cut bell for it, SFI rated, with an SFI rated flywheel and a mystery converter. So nice deep pan. I ended up drilling a hole and tapping it for a Rife temperature sensor for the trans temp. And then we actually got a derail trans cooler mounted for this thing. Hopefully it keeps it nice and cool. It's a little smaller than I anticipated, but hopefully it does the job. We still need I got the shifter mounted there, but we still need to get it up in the car and run the cable and all that schnaz. We got this nice BMR adapter cross member here, so that it makes this geometry work real nice. We still need to get a dry shaft made for it. We need to get a torque arm put on it. And what I want to do is I want to get the torque arm that's got the subframe connectors built in, so that way it really makes this chassis nice and rigid without a cage in it. Got a lot of roll going on, so I want to get this thing nice and tied in and keep working at it. Alright, so what we got done up front here is we got a stock replacement throttle cable to get rid of the cruise control, so that's all tied in. We got the fuel rails tightened down. Running stock injectors for now because, you know, budget build. I got a low dollar motorsports fuel pressure sensor in there. The Holley sensors all ran through and all plugged in. What I didn't know is that you had to reuse the stock coil harness, which sucks because it looks like shit. But we're gonna run it for now until we get some money to buy the Holley replacements. We got the harness ran up through here, through the firewall. Obviously, I have a lot to button up. I haven't even really started the wiring process yet. But once I do, I'll start zip tying everything, making it all look a lot prettier. So today's project, what we're going to do is we're going to try to cut this lip, this core support up top here. And we're going to try to get the radiator stuffed in here. We're going to notch a little hole here for the cap. And I want to get this thing as flat as I can with this outside line here, just to give me as much room as I want if I wanted to run single, twin turbos, whatever's going to come in the future. So yeah. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to cut from this edge, we're going to follow this body line all the way across, and then cut the same thing on the other end. What we need to do is cut this angled piece out so that way this radiator sits nice and flat. This is roughly 3 inches. This is enough space for that radiator to sit down in here flat. And what we'll have to do is cut up here, just to give you enough room to slide this radiator in. We'll drill a hole up top, the hole saw for the cap, and this thing should fit in there pretty good. Alright guys, so for this, what I ended up doing was just taking a die grinder with a cutoff wheel on it, and I did it all. It took a while, but I did it all real slow, and I wanted to do it slow and accurate as I could. Definitely takes a minute to cut with a die grinder like that. You have to have some patience, and just give it time. Here what I'm doing is drilling out all these spot welds. You have to drill them out. They make a tool for it. It helps. Unfortunately, I didn't have one, so I ended up just drilling it out and using an air hammer and splitting the metal up that way. And then go back and kind of get rid of all the sharp edges. I don't want to cut myself as I'm doing this. So then I went to the top, and I start cutting up the top cross member piece there to try and make some more headroom for the radiator that I'm installing. Same thing. I should have ran like a chalk line, or I should have ran at least a line across to give me a reference, but instead I just decided to get in there and start cutting, and it turned out all right. From the video, it was kind of hard to see what I was doing at all times, but I'm just doing a general cutout just to try and get more room to get this radiator fit up in there. So guys, what you want to try to not to do here is you don't want to cut too much where you have a gap, or you don't want to cut enough where you regret it after you install the radiator. So just try to be careful. Again, here, drilling out these spot welds. My drill bits suck. They're cheap from AutoZone, so I decided to say, you know what, enough with that, and I started to bust the air hammer out. And that's just the best way I found to break the spot welds, to get the piece of metal out that you're trying to get out. It works pretty well. It is messy. It doesn't leave a very good finish, obviously, but we're cutting that part out anyway. So in my mind, that was the best way to do it. It was the fastest way to do it, and it works well. So just keep on cutting and cutting. I ended up cutting in the back. You can kind of see me starting to work at it. That's just to give me more room front to back, try to get that 3-inch radiator stuck up in there. Again, what you want to do is clean up that edge. This is just test fitting, making sure that we got to cut more out here, cut up more out there, just to try and get it to fit as best as we could. And just take your time doing this. I wouldn't recommend doing this in a rush, because you're just going to end up with a result you don't want. So just take your time, grind what you can. I ended up using a Sawzall too. It kind of sped up the process. All right, guys, welcome back. So we made some progress on this. Definitely took a little longer than I expected. Just a lot of cutting, trying to be nice to the existing metal and not nick into anything that you don't want to cut. So we cut the bottom out, made it nice and flat, smooth the edges, obviously. This is where the radiator is going to sit on the bottom, and then up here on the top, I cut just enough so that the radiator would fit, but still keep this intact. I wanted it to look like the radiator was stuffed up underneath this radiator support here. So all we gotta do now is get a hole saw. We're gonna cut for the radiator. So actually, the only thing that's gonna be sticking up past this is gonna be the radiator cap. So we'll have our fitting coming this way. We'll put our overflow tank here and run the hoses. But I gotta keep grinding a little bit more, get her nice and smoothed out, and then try and paint it and stuff the radiator in there. I gotta order some hoses. I need to order some rubber mounts for the bottom to help keep it off the bare metal, and either fab up something here to keep the top of the radiator from moving, or buy something off Summit or Jags or something of that nature. But yeah, let's get back to it. Alright guys, so I ended up doing some more cutting to that little radiator support, and it certainly looked a lot better. I made the little notch here for the radiator cap. Obviously guys, this isn't professional work by any means, but just trying to do the best I can and learn in the process. So yeah, I like the way it fits. I think this is going to give me a lot more room in the engine bay here. And now I just got to find some paint and keep cleaning it up and paint it. And get some rubber and maybe fab up some clamps or buy some clamps to keep it straight up and down. So, yeah. So guys, what I ended up doing is getting some of this black rubber. It's like a trim molding off Amazon, super cheap. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run it around all the rough edges, at least in which you can see, and where your hands will be rubbing the most, just to get rid of that sharp edge from cutting yourself like I did in the process of doing all this. So, yeah. think it turned out pretty good. Pretty clean install. Nice and flat up against the core support. Plenty of room for activities here. Got the expansion tank here mounted. Got just enough clearance to put a cap on, which is beautiful. It's the way I wanted it set up. I just have to, well, this cardboard is shoved in for now. I gotta build some rubber mounts of some sort, and this thing will be done. So yeah, this is a vertical radiator set up for an Fbody Camaro. Alright, welcome back. Obviously today's a different day, and well, I just want to show you what else I got done on this radiator install. So I ended up getting a nice cheap cap for it. Put the fans on, 2 8-inch fans, just Amazon fans, nothing crazy. This is just a little street car. Ended up painting the bottom where I cut out the section last time, painted that black, and put some more of this black trim on it, that rubber molding. Got the radiator. The top hose works. I'm just having trouble trying to figure out a bottom hose. Obviously, it's got to go from there to there. So I'm working on a part number for that, trying to figure out what hose I need. But other than that, I think the install looks really good. I need to figure out a hose situation for the overflow and get that set up. But no, it looks good. Need to figure out that bottom hose, and we're all good. I'm welding some tabs here on the side. That's how I'm mounting this. I have one on this side and then one on the other side too. That keeps the top of it nice and rigid, and then on the bottom, you can't really see it, but I got 2 black rubber blocks in the bottom to help keep it off the bare metal so it's not vibrating like crazy. And that way there, it's still supporting the bottom of it. But yeah. So thanks guys for watching this video, and if you guys ever need to do a vertical radiator on your Fbodies, hopefully this helps. Thanks.